Hey guys, thanks for joining us today. So I've got some equipment workouts for you. I've had a lot of people asking for some equipment workouts they can do at home or do in observation hours. So here we go. We're going to do an intermediate reformer workout. I hope you like it. Whether you're joining us or taking notes, thanks for being here. Let's move. Okay, here we go. We're going to do an intermediate reformer workout today. I've got my lovely assistant Rachel working with us today. She's going to come on. We're going to flip you around, face that direction. I've got a mirror out in front of me so I can kind of see her posture. Put your feet against my foot so your feet are about hip bones width apart. And I just love to start with a roll down. It's a great way to check in with your body as a client. It's a great way for you as an instructor to see what's happening with your client before they get started with their session. So take a nice deep breath in. And as you exhale, start to roll down. You just want your client to do their roll down without really cueing them, without really saying anything. Just let them move naturally. See how they coordinate breath with movement. See how their spine is moving, their flexibility, how they create and move with that breath pattern. I can see a little bit of tightness on this side right here. So during the session, I might try to stretch out a little bit more on the left lateral line and strengthen a little more on the right. When you come up, Rachel, I want your hands to come just behind your greater trochanter, just behind your hip. Keep your palms facing one another and use that roll down almost as a bit of an exercise, a little more strength through the arms as you come down. Take a breath in. This time as you exhale, soften your knees slightly and then begin your articulation down. Feel as if your head is filling up with water and it's just pulling you in a cascading sensation down towards the floor. Keep those palms facing one another. Take a breath in. Exhale, roll up. Softening the knees will help protect the back just a little bit as we roll through. Keeping the abdominals engaged and working well. So that to me was a little bit better. Do you feel a different on that? It's a little more of a kind of an exercise in and of itself. So go ahead and have a lie down. I've got her set with 2 holes showing. We're using BASI Systems equipment today. I'm going to use the second setting for her. Go ahead and have a lie down. 2 holes showing on the foot bar. I've got 3 red and a blue to start. That's what we'll do our footwork with. But we're going to go ahead and start with a little bit of a warm-up. So I'd like you to rest your arches right about here. It feels good on the bottom of the foot, doesn't it? Feet and knees about hip bones width apart, arms down by your side, and you've got a slight tilt of your head to the left. So straighten your head out to the other side, to the right. There you go. Take a deep breath in. As you exhale, let your body just kind of relax into the mat. Take a breath in. As you exhale, I want you to go into a posterior tilt of the pelvis, just kind of pushing your low back into the mat, drawing into that deep kind of curved position of the spine. Inhale back to neutral, a little beyond if you like. Exhale, tuck your tail, flatten your back into the mat. Go to that nice deep posterior tilt and inhale back. I like to do a couple of pelvic tilts to start my session. Let my client get their low back to relax and release a little bit, wake up the abdominals a little bit. You want to feel that coming all the way through your spine. You want to feel as if your spine is a wave. As you go into flexion of the pelvis, it affects the whole spine all the way up to the tip of your head. And go to a neutral pelvic position. Take a breath in. As you exhale, we're going to go right into that pelvic curl. So start to peel your spine up off the mat. Now, you've got a lot of spring on there, so you're not going to be working your hamstrings too much, but you definitely have to work them a little bit to keep that carriage down on the stopper. Inhale at the top. As you exhale, I want you to feel each vertebra one at a time articulate down the mat, rolling back and through. Always observing your client from all positions, from all directions. Inhale. Exhale up. Deepen into those abdominals. Use the backs of the legs to peel your spine up. For those of you who are working at home along with us, take a breath in. Exhale, roll down. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Make sure your neck is tension-free. Make sure the energy is coming from the core. Inhale. Let's do one more. As you exhale, peel your spine up. I said I was going to keep this to about a 45-minute session, so I'm going to have to rush through. I don't like to use the word rush. I'm going to have to work through the block system a little bit quicker, maybe a little bit less reps than I normally would. And back through to neutral. How's that feeling?
Good.
Good. What I love about these little posts is we can grab a hold of those posts next to our ears, tabletop our legs one at a time, glue our knees together. Make sure your knees are just slightly in from the hips so you know those lower abdominals are working well. Nice tabletop position, Rachel. Once you inhale, drop your legs towards me. And as you exhale, pull into your abdomen and draw your legs back to the center line. Inhale to the opposition. You want to move everything as one unit and exhale back to center. You want your chest and shoulders to stay nice and still. You want your legs to stay nice and still. You want that movement coming from the midsection as if your waist was a washcloth and you're wringing that washcloth out. You're staying in control from the abdominal obliques, not pulling into the QL too much. Inhale. And exhale to center. Again, keeping the shoulders and upper body tension free. Inhale and exhale back to center. So from here, I want you to drop your feet just a little bit. Take your arms out slowly, bring them up above your chest, palms face down. You're going to come into a C curve and put your hands just up on top of your knees. Elbows are slightly bent, shoulders, scapula stabilized. We're going into double leg stretch. You're going to reach your arms above your head, lengthen your legs out to a diagonal line, and exhale, pull. Did I mention this was an intermediate workout and not a fundamental workout? Rachel's laughing at me. She's going to think of some payback for me when she trains me later. Inhale. Exhale. I really like the way that she's reaching out. Inhale, reach. Those thumbs are almost touching. She's maximizing that stretch on her shoulders and then around and back to her knees. Again, inhale, reach. Exhale, pull. Keep that depth of your forward flexion. Inhale, reach. That girl. And exhale, pull. I want your knees to stay a little closer together. Keep those adductors active. Keep your adductors working and hold it there. Both hands over your right knee. Extend your left leg and switch slowly. Single leg stretch. We want to keep those feet along the same horizontal line. They're moving right along the same horizontal line. That nice depth of our C curve. Nice shoulder scapula stabilization. And exhale. And exhale. I've got a mirror just behind the camera here. It's an excellent opportunity to see from different angles. Keep the legs going as you interlace your hands behind your head and rotate towards the bent knee. Keep those elbows wide. Atta girl. Good. You don't want the sensation of pulling your elbow across to your knee. You want to think of chest to thigh. Keep that upper body nice and wide and open. You're going a little bit too much into lateral flexion.
Oh, that's hard.
There you go. You want to make sure that you prioritize forward flexion over rotation. Doesn't matter how much you rotate, as long as you're getting into those rotators. One more each side. And boom. And back to center. Grab your thighs. Pull yourself a little deeper. She's not happy with me right now. And drop your feet and let your body rest down. Great job. I've got her headrest down. She's got lovely posture, so we don't need to make any modifications with the headrest. Arms are going to be down by her side. We're going to start with heels parallel, a couple inches apart. And you want to imagine those feet are against a flat wall. So you're basically maximizing your dorsiflexion in the beginning phase of movement. Initiate from the backs of the legs, exhale, lengthen, and then work through the quadriceps as you go through your full range of motion. Inhale, bend. Again, with a studio like this where I've got mirrors on both sides, it's always good to kind of check your mirrors. It's a nice way to see from a dimensional point of view. You want to watch your client from all angles. Make sure their pelvis is in a good position, their ribs are in a good position, their feet are in a good position. Neck, shoulders, abdominals, holding well. So you've got a little flare in your toes. I want you to try to relax your toes a little bit, but keep the ankles dorsiflexed. Again, so keep your feet right again. There you go. And then keep the energy into your big toe just a little bit. Atta girl. We want to get those perineals working a little bit more. She's having a tendency to supinate. Stay at the bottom. We're going to slide right down to parallel toes. Push to the top, hold at the top. I like to maximize the plantar flexion. No, stay there. Maximize your plantar flexion without rolling out on your ankles. And then once you've established that heel position, that's where the ankle and foot will stay. Inhale, bend. Yes, lovely, Rachel. Exhale, lengthen. So you see that? We're getting really nice articulation through the ankle, nice movement through the knees, nice movement through the hips. I love it. I hope you guys are moving along with us or taking great notes on this. She's making it look easy. I know. You got to breathe. No holding your breath. Use your breath to create a rhythm for the movement. I love those arms. They're nice and long and relaxed. Okay, from this position, we're just going to think of the hip joint externally rotating. The heels will naturally come into that nice V position. V position toes. Exhale, lengthen to the top. Stay in that nice position of the ankle and foot. Inhale, bend. I love V position toes because this is the one position at the top you can get that really deep squeeze, pull up into the pelvic floor and really initiate that core. Exhale, lengthen and squeeze at the top. Inhale, bend. How you feeling? How's that weight feel?
Good.
Whether you're working out on your own or whether you're working out with a client, you want to make sure you're in constant communication with yourself, with your own body, how you're feeling, or constant communication with your client. Make sure that they're feeling well. Ask them about their springs. Ask them about the tension. Ask them about their movement patterns. Keep that line of communication open, and you'll have a lot of fun with your sessions. Not as easy if you're training with men. I don't mean to say anything bad about the male community in Pilates at all, but it is difficult to communicate with men from time to time. Stay at the bottom. We're going to go heels to the outside corners. Open V heels. Men don't like to communicate quite as much sometimes as women do. Now, again, we're going to think of those toes facing up towards the ceiling. We're pretty much in maximum dorsiflexion here. Keep your feet there as you exhale, lengthen. Ah, very nice. Nice little release of your ankle joint. If you ever hear your body creaking or cracking, or your client's body creaking or cracking, ask them, did that hurt? Does it feel any discomfort? Usually it's just a tendon rolling, it's just a joint releasing, but you want to make sure that you're not in discomfort yourself or that your client is not in discomfort. How's that foot position feel, okay?
It's hard to hold.
I know. If you haven't been trained in a while, it's a little different. Exhale, lengthen. Inhale, bend. Can you get your tailbone down just a tad? Good. Rachel, like some clients, has a tendency to draw into a little bit of a posterior tilt on her footwork. We're just going to keep her in a nice neutral pelvic position as long as it's feeling okay with her back. Stay at the bottom, slide right down towards your toes. We're going to push back to the top. Hold it there. We're going to find that maximum plantar flexion without rolling out of the ankle. We're going to hold that position as you bend. Inhale and exhale, lengthen. For those of you working out at home with us, we started with parallel heels, went to parallel toes, V position toes, open V heels, open V toes. Since it's an intermediate session, I will add prehensile today, along with calf raises, prances, single leg heels, single leg toes. And that'll conclude our footwork. We're going to stay just a little bit high as you come down to the bottom. You're just dropping just a little bit. There you go. Nicely done. Inhale, bend. Exhale, lengthen. You want the knees to line up with the big toes. You want this angle to all remain the same as you're going through your V position work. You don't want your knees outside your toes or inside, so you know you have good symmetry there. That's good. Toes parallel, a couple inches apart. Push up to the top. Drop your heels into a stretch. If you're familiar with facilitated stretching, you can give your client a gentle stretch, but I don't recommend this unless you're familiar with stretching. Go ahead and press up and return. Facilitated stretching. Up. And this is looking great. She's doing a great job keeping her feet parallel. We're going to do about 15-20 repetitions on this. Make sure you're not rolling out on your ankles. You want to work both ranges of motion. You're pulling at the bottom and pushing at the top. Tibialis anterior at the bottom, gastrocnemius at the top. Pulling both ranges, really working the full spectrum of the calf and the lower limb. Go ahead and hold it at the top. Let's do our prances. Most people don't maximize their up range of motion on their prances, so make sure you push all the way up and stretch and push and pull and push and pull, push and pull and push and pull. You made a little dance out of it. That's great. I love it. Pelvic lumbar stability looks awesome. Ribs are in a great position. Shoulders, head, neck, all looking great. Heels under. Just going to give you a gentle stretch as you bend your knees and come through. And we're pretty much going to stay right there for our prehensile. Maybe just a little higher with the toes. Can you press those heels under? Oh, I know, you're feeling it. Now, as you press out, push those heels under. Push those heels under. Wrap those toes like a bird on a perch. And as you come down to the bottom, keep those heels under. We're just going to do a couple of these. Exhale, push those heels under, push them under, push them under, push them under, toes wrap. Very nice. Keep those heels under as you come down. Excellent. Keep that heel down, keep that heel down. And one more. Beautiful, nice wrap of those toes, Rachel. Great job. Okay, I'm going to take a blue spring off, so always drop a little bit of weight when you go from your double leg footwork to your single leg footwork. We go to our heels, parallel a couple inches apart. I'm not going to do anything fancy today. We're just going to do a nice series of single leg heels, single leg toes. Let's go right leg tabletop. And press it out. Inhale, bend. Again, you want to imagine that your foot is sitting against a flat wall. So you get that nice articulation through the ankle joint. How's your upper body feeling? Head and neck, good and comfortable? Always, again, watching your client from all directions. If you're working out on your own, just utilize your proprioception. Feel your body. Where's your body in space? How is it feeling? You're starting to go a little bit too much flexion on that ankle joint. Keep it right there. There you go. When you're doing single leg heels, single leg toes, you want to make sure you're counting your repetitions, so you're doing it equally on either side. That's 8 reps there. We're going to go here. Tabletop this leg. Dorsiflex. How's that feel? Press it out. Inhale, bend. Looking good. Yeah, you're a little tighter on that left leg. That left ankle joint. Did you ever have an injury or anything on that side?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's fascinating when you work with your clients or working with yourself and somebody's watching your movement patterns. You can always tell if a knee joint is off. The kinetic chain of the body is amazing. If you've got an injury in one direction or one side of the body, it can completely affect the other side all the way up the chain of the body. And guess what? I just talked about making sure that both legs were even, and I lost count. I think we're around 8. Yeah, okay, good. Thank goodness she was counting. Let's go to your toes. Take the other leg to tabletop. Take a breath in. Exhale, press out and lengthen. I love footwork toes, whether you're doing double leg or both, or single. Right here, between the tips of the toes and the pad of the foot is what I like to call the toe canyon. And that toe canyon should be right here, pressing into that foot bar. What's that, about 5?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Good. We're looking for this beautiful length. We're working for both ranges of motion. Again, concentric, eccentric, right? Switch legs. You don't want to just press up with beautiful control, lengthen the leg to the top, and then ride the springs down to the bottom. You want to work both ranges of motion. Lovely. And I'm not forcing her. Anytime I'm doing tactile cueing is about just guiding, just doing nice, gentle cues to help recruit the proper muscles, to help get the body in the position that you want, to help really achieve the desired result. Doing a great job on that right ankle. Okay, got another one in you? Mm-hmm. Perfect. And we're going to do some C-curve work here in our abdominal block. I'm going to go to a red and a blue, 1.5 springs. Always scoot down away from your shoulder rest just a little bit to make sure you have some room to move in and out of your C-curve. Go ahead and grab a hold of your straps. And you're going to push up on the foot bar just enough to get those hands right above the chest, right to about a 90-degree line here. Once you're there, I always like to take the legs tabletop one at a time. Go right leg first, left leg second, boom. Glue those knees together, we're ready to go. We're going to exhale into your C curve, lengthen your legs out to a diagonal line. Your eyes should be right across from your toes. Begin your 100, inhale. Exhale. She's so mad at me. Inhale. She thought this was going to be a fundamental warm-up, fundamental workout. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. You count it out. Keep going. You want to keep those hands just below your hip line or at your hip line. If those hands start to come up above your hip line with those straps, you're going to start bouncing. Your head's going to start bouncing. You want to make sure you've got good shoulder scapula stabilization and stay deep into forward flexion without putting too much pressure on the neck. Where are we at? Inhale. Exhale. Stop, bring your knees in, bring your arms, head, chest, and shoulders back. When you come out of it, bring your arms up a little bit to that 90-degree line, then let your head, chest, and shoulders drop down. So let me show you what that looks like. Let's just do 100 prep. Exhale into your C curve. Your arms lead you in. Now your arms are going to reach up to about that 90-degree line from your shoulders. Then the head, chest, and shoulders are going to drop down. It's just a nice way to keep a little more depth of the abdominals. Okay, exhale up. Lengthen those legs out. Coordination. Open, close. First your knees come back. Then your arms, head, chest, and shoulders. Okay, do it again. We're going to shorten our range on the open and close. Just to about here. Just about there you go. You don't want to go too wide. You're going to lose your stability and control if you go too wide. Exhale up, lengthen your legs out. Open, close. First your knees, arms up, then head, chest, and shoulders drop. Good. Do that 2 more times. Looking great, Rachel. Looking great. Boom. Good. Next, staying tension free. Staying into your abs. Come on, one more. And that's looking great. And bring your arms up, head, chest, and shoulders down. You're looking lovely. How are you feeling?
Sweating.
Sweating. It's a little warm in here. You want to get a fan for you? No. Okay. I'm going to add just a little bit of weight. I'm going to do 2 red springs for some hip work. You're going to press up on your foot bar. If you're teaching your clients, I always like to be in control of my machine. I take those straps, I put my foot on the carriage so I'm in control of my client. I know they're safe. Put this foot in the strap. Now Rachel's been doing this for a long time, so I know she's safe. I know she knows what she's doing. But if you're working with a newer client, it's good to make sure you're in control of those straps, those ropes, your machines, just to be safe. Press it out. Okay, and we're going to go to a frog position. Now, we're going to do extended frog, or I should say frog extended. So frog is going to start about here where those knees are just above your hips. Frog extended, you want to go just a little bit deeper so you can get that range when you're pulling back into your frog position. Get your tailbone down a little bit. Atta girl. Exhale, lengthen out. You're reaching straight across that same horizontal line. Swinging up to a high V position. Pulling your knees back into that frog position, looking great. Exhale, press it out. I'm not a big fan of hard plantar flexion. Keep going. Hard dorsiflexion. Let your feet just go along for the ride. Think of the energy coming from here, coming from your core, coming from your hips. If you're focusing on hard plantar flexion or hard dorsiflexion, the problem is the energy ends up going into the foot and the strap. Hip work is all about pelvic lumbar stability, all about core stability, and getting a nice stretch and strengthening of the midline of the inner thighs, those adductors. Good. She's pushing her range a little bit, but it's looking good because she's got that nice flexibility to control that movement. Can you give me a little more plantar flexion through the feet? Just, nope, plantar. There you go. There you go. Nicely done. Again, I don't want a hard point, but I don't want her in hard dorsiflexion.
I forgot what that was.
Good. Press it out. Let's reverse. Frog extended reverse. We inhale back, exhale, lengthen our legs out, pause, inhale, exhale, pull down and around to that nice smiley face, that semicircle. Inhale back, exhale, lengthen out, pause, inhale, and exhale, roll through. Good. Inhale back, pelvic lumbar stability looks great. Exhale, lengthen, pause, inhale, a little bit of a stretch, and then the strength comes down and around to the bottom. Inhale back, exhale, lengthen, pause, inhale, and exhale, pull down and through. You're looking great, Rachel. Inhale back. Exhale, lengthen, pause, inhale. And exhale down and through. Great. So stay there. If you want to add some circles to your routine, you can go into your down circles and up circles, but again, I'm a little limited on time, so I'm going to cut that out. We're going to go right into spinal articulation, which is the next block. How are you feeling about some short spine today? Love it. One of my favorite. Go to frog position. I like to tell my clients, and I'm telling you if you're working along with us, to make sure you start in frog and end in frog. Okay, this is your starting position and ending position. As you lengthen your legs out, you're going to point your toes. Make sure the headrest is down, by the way, if you're working with the client or yourself. Now we're in hard plantar flexion, slightly externally rotated in the hip joint. We inhale back. You've got to make sure you get that carriage all the way down to the stopper. I want to hear your stoppers clicking out there. Exhale up onto your shoulders using your abdominals. We keep this nice and strong, keeping the energy into the hamstrings as we bend to frog. Boom. That should be horizontal to the floor. As you exhale down, those toes stay above your face. And let the spine do the articulation. Let the spine roll through. Get as flat as you can. Dorsiflex and hinge back to your frog position. Okay? That was looking great. You want to do it on your own?
Yep.
Exhale, lengthen. Inhale back. I want to hear that stopper. Ooh, exhale up. Nicely done. Inhale, bend. And exhale, roll through. So don't let the knees sink. You don't want your body to sink as you're going through. You want the spine to articulate through. A little deeper here. A little deeper. There, you feel that? Yeah. Now dorsiflex and come through. Okay? Exhale out. It doesn't matter how flexible you are, doesn't matter how inflexible you are. You want to get the carriage to the stopper. If your hips roll up a little bit, that's fine, but you're working your hips down as long and as far as you can. But maximize that hamstring stretch. It's lovely. Exhale up. There's lots of different ways to do the short spine out there. Inhale, bend. But this BASI method is just my favorite, especially for a person like myself. I'm very tight. I've got typical boy body. And pull through and press it out. And I need this stretch. It feels lovely. Got one more in you?
Yeah.
Tighten those hands up just a little bit and lengthen those arms out. Up you go. Nice core stability. We keep that core strong as we bend. Pause and roll through. Give it a stretch, give it a stretch, give it a stretch. And again, if you know facilitated stretching, you can give your client a little extra stretch. Breathe. Don't let them hold their breath if they're coming through. And out you go. Really nice work. Push it out. I'm going to take my client's foot out. I'm going to guide it to the foot bar. I'm going to hold the carriage so I know I'm in control and they're safe. I bring the other foot down and we come off. Let's do a kneeling lunge. Off you go. Next block is going to be the stretch block. I'm going to go down to one red. Do you want a kneeling pad or are you comfortable on this? Okay. Both knees down, both hands on the foot bar, both feet against the shoulder rest. I always offer, sometimes if I know my clients really well and I know they have bad knees or issues with their knees, I'll always give them a kneeling pad. I just use a little 2 or 3 inch foam pad that you can get at Home Depot or Lowe's. Okay, you're going to put your right foot up. Make sure your foot is slightly off center so your foot, knee, hip, and shoulder are in nice alignment. Our posture lifts up. Keep that knee above your heel. So some people will start pushing way forward like this. You want to make sure that knee is above your heel, your posture is long, your head's in line, your spine, shoulders are good. Can you drop this hip a little bit? Ooh, tight there today. Now, the hip flexor stretch is that. That's it. So many people go into this deep push back, almost like they're getting ready to go into the splits, and it's just going to the hip flexor. Once you're in that hip flexor stretch, bias to posterior. It'll pull on that thigh and that hip flexor a little bit more. Couple breaths there. Now, here's the important part. Those hips should move along the same horizontal line. Inhale. Exhale, lengthen that leg. Keep those hips along the same horizontal line. Look at that posture. Chin down a little bit, chin down a little bit. There you go. That's important. Keeping that back nice and flat, keeping that shoulder scapula stabilization. Can we drop this hip down a little bit, Rachel? Oh, she's not happy with me. Go back to your hip flexor stretch. This is what I love my poles for. We're working on this posture. There you go. You feel that? Mm-hmm. Now watch as she goes into her hamstring stretch. Her hips stay right along the same horizontal line. And that posture that we created stays. There, you feel that? So you like to kink into your neck. People like to get a little tense back here, especially when the hamstring is stretching. When you're in that hamstring stretch, bias to anterior, so you pull in the hamstring a little bit more. And come back and switch sides. That was lovely. Switch feet. Left foot's on. Okay, how are we feeling?
Good.
I think you're a little more towards your toes on the other side. Okay, the knee is above the heel, so make sure you kind of adjust that pelvis forward and back so you find it. Head's in line with the spine. Good, how's that feel?
Good.
Hip flexor stretch. Boom! It's not much. It doesn't take much. Bring that carriage back just enough to feel that thigh stretch, to feel that hip flexor stretch, biasing to posterior. And keep those hips along the same horizontal line as we go to hamstring stretch. Watching the mirror behind the camera, that's looking great. We're going to drop this hip a little bit. Remember that neck. There you go. You really like to kink that head up. Keep that back extended. These back extensors, my friends, I guarantee you, they're nice and active. Core is nice and active. Back to your hip flexor stretch. Don't come up out of it. Don't push deeper into it. Just come right back to that hip flexor stretch. Lovely, lovely. How you feeling?
Good.
Looking great, making it look easy. Inhale and exhale, come back, come back. That was beautiful, Rachel. Lovely. Feeling okay there? Mm-hmm. She had a massage earlier. How you feeling with that massage now? Body's going, what's happening? I was relaxed and now I'm getting worked. And then as you come back, your chest comes up, and beautiful job. We're going to go into full body integration 1, intermediate or lower level. We're going to do knee stretch reverse. I want to show it to you on this equipment because it's just a lovely treat. So flip your body around. Put your knees against the shoulder rests. I like to come back just a hair, just about an inch. So as you lean into it, your thighs will come back up. Your thighs will kind of drop into it. So you can come back just a tad. Okay, reverse knee stretch. Now on these particular machines, we've got the BASI Systems Equipment F2s here on the edge. I just love these because it really gives you a little more depth to this particular exercise. So you're just going to roll through. Put your hands on the F2s. We're going to bias just to about there. Shoulder scapula stabilization. Lift your head up just a tad. So let's go to flat back. Go to flat back, okay? I feel like you're too much into this thoracic region. You want to go into lumbar flexion and allow the rest of the spine to adapt to that flexion. Now we're looking a little bit better. Okay, there's no movement here. Yourself, if you're working out with us, you're going to have a tendency to pull. If you're training somebody, the clients have a tendency to pull with their arms. It should come from here. She exhales, she pulls into deeper flexion and out. If I put my thumbs here, you won't see any movement of those shoulders. And lovely. And pull up in here just a little. There you go. Pull up in here just a little bit. There you go. And if you can pull that carriage through even further, Rachel, there you go. One more just like that. Woo! Lovely. Now from here, nice flow, we're going to go right into our kneeling arm series. So come back, lift up. She's already in a great position. She's already got a great spring on there. I had one red on there for her. Might have been a little aggressive, but she can handle it. Now, I want you to sit on your heels. If you're working out at home, sit on your heels, grab your straps around the knot or the rubber part, and then once you're feeling secure, then bring your body up. You don't want to start fumbling around with your straps in an upright position, yeah? So once you come up, we're going to try to give you a little more. There you go. I feel like your back is a little arched right now. Maybe you're just tired from your massage. Pull up in your abs a little bit more. There you go. Okay, how's that feel? We're going to start just anterior of the pelvis, pull just behind. and forward. Now, any chest expansion, whether you're doing the seated arm series, the kneeling arm series, the armchair, I learned a great cue from Rail over this last weekend. When you bring your arms back to forward, straighten them out again. So push your knuckles on the ground, pull back, open your chest, right? Push your knuckles on the ground, pull back, open your chest. He's not happy with me because he's got to work a little bit more. But it really reestablishes that link to the tricep and lat. I've been doing that with my own work lately. I just feel like I'm really getting that nice pull through, that nice chest expansion. The shoulders should not be rolling forward. Okay, can you get your hands a little tighter to your thighs as you come back? Yes, I know you're not happy with me. Let go of the straps. Flip your body around. Come back down on your heels. Yep. I'm going to drop a little bit of weight, go down to a blue spring. I'm still using, on these BASI Systems equipment, the center line of hooks there. So again, she's doing great. She's sitting on her heels. She's in a very safe position. We grab a hold of the straps. Okay, it's a little unstable, especially on the lighter weight. So as she comes up, we lift up. I usually spot around the clavicle or the shoulder, so I make sure that my client is feeling stable. Before I let go of her shoulder, I say, "Are you feeling stable?" Mm-hmm. Great, lovely. Start at your hips, palms face forward. You're going to come up with your arms, circles up. Maximize your range at the top. Externally rotate the palms, come down along the hip and shoulder line. Very important to stay along that hip and shoulder line as you come down, because when we reverse, you don't want to be behind that hip or shoulder line. You'll end up pulling yourself back. Exhale up. Rotate your palms and down you go. I like to say that I'm being presented with my gift. And then, I don't know what's after that. You're throwing the gift away. Exhale up. And inhale out. Good. So if you notice, she's doing a really good job keeping those ribs engaged, keeping that pelvis in a neutral position. Let's reverse. Out to the side. Maximize that range up. Rotate your palms to an up position as you come down. Really rotate that radius and ulna, moving through the hands. It helps establish a nice link into that rotator cuff, getting that shoulder in just the right position as you come up and just the right position as you come down. Again, remember, you want to keep your hands along the hip and shoulder line so that you're not pulling from behind you. You're coming out on the exhale and you're inhaling down. Got one more in you? Now we're going to stay up on this one. Take your forefinger and thumb together, just the back top of the head, and you're going to go straight up. This is not salute. You're going to stop right about here. So bend, touch right about there, and then up. It's not out to a diagonal line, it's triceps, it's straight up. We're going to work on those abs a little bit. We're going to work on those ribs. Pull your ribs down. There you go. So lengthen your lumbar. There. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Now go. Oh, now she's unhappy with me. And. Okay, now we're looking good. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Come out, down, and around. While she's coming down and around, I'm going to support her shoulder. I'm going to add a little bit of weight, so we're going to go to a red and a blue, and she's going to go into her biceps. You keep those arms at a diagonal line behind your back. You only bend your elbow, bring them right in towards your chest, and out you go. This is important. Keep that diagonal line of your humerus. Keep that shoulder scapula stabilization. And how are we doing on our pelvic lumbar stability? You're doing great, Rachel. You're doing great. You just want to lengthen this lumbar a little bit. There. Now go. There you go. Try to keep that lumbar. So you're thinking pulling into the abdominals, pulling into posterior. Well, I want you to think of lengthening this. Yeah?
Okay.
Does that feel a little better?
Yeah.
A little easier to do.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes we're trying to create this core stability with too much emphasis on the interior, not focusing on what's happening on the posterior. And let go of your straps, sit on your heels. You're making it look easy. Nice job. We're dropping those straps back on little hooks. We're going to come off the machine. I'm going to have you stand right there. I'm going to grab a hold. Next block is going to be additional leg work. We're going to do some single leg skate. I'm going to be really kind. I know you've been working hard. I'm going to go to a red all the way in the upper gear. One red, upper gear. If I was unkind, I might do a red and a yellow mid gear, but I'm going to be kind. Let's take that foot bar down. Why don't you come around to this side so they can see from this direction. Okay, I'm still holding onto the carriage. We're going to take our hands behind our head. And you want to bend the knees just enough before the heel starts to come up. So you bend the knees, keeping the feet flat. All of your energy is going to stay on this down leg. Nothing moves from here. Just a slight, there you go. You're pushing out with the carriage leg only. Lengthen the leg straight. Squeeze and bend. Exhale, press and lengthen. Return. Should be coming from the gluteus medius. And we're going to pull those ribs in just a little bit. Chin up just a tad. That's my girl. And soften this knee just a little bit more there. Now really work this leg out all the way out. Straighten and pull. And reach and pull. We're looking good, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah.
And hold it there. Take your hands down. I always like to help my client on, help my client off. Come around the other side. Good. Your down established leg, a little more towards the middle there. There you go. You don't want to be on the edge. You want to get a good solid plant on that foot. And right on the side here. Are you centered? Okay. Interlace behind. Drop your ribs. Soften your knees. There you go. And a little deeper. Nope. There you go. Now press it out. This down leg is nice and stable. She's got good rib position, good pelvic position, single leg skate. I'm going to watch from all angles. Make sure we keep this established link here in the abdominals. Yes. So you see how this hip is trying to come up a little bit? Drop that down there. Now keep it there. There. Do you feel the difference? Sometimes it just takes a micro adjustment to get into that muscle just a little deeper. And now she's looking great. Nice job. Come off the back. Lengthen your legs. Good job. All right. Yeah. We'll leave this here. It's not going to make any difference. I'm going to put the foot strap up. We're going to put all the springs on to keep this carriage nice and still. I love the BASI Systems boxes. They're just gorgeous. And we're going to go to a short box position for a side over short box. Okay, that's strong. That's good. I'm going to take this off. I'm just going to take that off, get that out of the way. Go ahead and let's start facing that direction. So sit here facing that direction. You want to bring your leg under the strap. You want to scoot your hip over to the edge a little bit. Depending on the leg length of your client, you might have to do some adjustments of the carriage. Take this hand onto the shoulder rest. Take this hand behind your head. The shin is kind of in line with that front edge. I think we're going to move you over just a tad forward and over this way just a tad. No, this way. Oh. There you go. So what I'm doing is I'm making sure she's really locked in here. You've got to be locked into that strap. You don't want to be touching the wood. You don't want to be resting your foot down. You want to be holding that strap dorsiflex so you're really locked in. Okay. By putting the hand on the shoulder rest like that, we're able to establish this nice diagonal line. Now from here, she takes her left hand up to meet her right hand. She comes over in lateral flexion. Imagine you're reaching over a beach ball. Try to tip that elbow and up. And we go back to that diagonal line. Don't go any higher. Now your client's going to get tired here. What's going to happen is the hip is going to try to roll back on you. And the chest is going to try to roll forward to incorporate some of those back muscles, those strong back muscles. We want to keep that client between those two panes of glass. And I'm just going to do one more. I don't do very many on this one. We're going to hold it here. Look at that line. We bring the elbow down, reach the top arm over, and we enjoy a nice little stretch. Okay? If you're on your own, put your hands down in a safe position and let yourself up. If you're working with a client, grab a hold and give them a little lift. Be a little nice to them to help them switch sides. Nice. Did you get into your back at all? Feeling your obliques?
That's harder than the way I've been doing it.
You know, self-practice is great. We need to practice, practice, practice. Rail says practice all the time. But you've also got to get sessions. You've got to get people to look at you, get their hands on your body, make sure you're practicing this work correctly. Okay? So move this hip forward. Lock into that strap. I like to just, if you're working with a client, I like to just grab a hold between the arm here, and it gives me a little bit of support for that client. So you can also make some micro adjustments from here. Take your right hand to meet your left. We're in that nice diagonal line that I was talking about. We inhale over, exhale up. Inhale over. This is another nice way to watch your client's alignment. So what we're doing is, I can see it right now, we're getting into the back. We're going to take our ribs and there you go. But keep your hip up. Inhale over. Oh, she's tired on this side. Oh, she's tired on this side. I'm going to help her a little bit for one more. And bring your elbow down. Woo, that side was not happy. If you see your client starting to fall out of form or they're fighting, boom, done. You don't want them to keep moving in a negative movement pattern. Up you go. Go ahead and come off the side. We're going to go to a long box position. So we've gone through all the blocks except full body integration, advanced or master level. We'll do that next time. I'm going to go to one blue center gear. You're going to have your chest just over the edge of the box. There's several ways to do this. Some people loop their hands through and grab the knot. Lately we've been folding it over and grabbing. I really like this because of these soft straps. You can grab the rope and the strap. So grab the rope and the strap about there. And we fold that one the same. About there. Your hands feeling equal? Okay. Chest is just over the edge of the box. Bring your hands just behind the F2. Oops, sorry. Just to the outside. Let's get rid of these. Let's just go here and here. Just for the time being. That way you have some nice movement. That's perfect. Okay, and bring your hands forward a little bit. We're going to start right about there. Head's in line with the spine. The legs are active, but they're not extended, okay? They're not lifting. They're just active. They're not dropping. They're not relaxed. We have a nice wrap of the abdominals as if the pubic bone was almost pushing into the mat slightly to really link this established connection here. We're thinking of this beautiful upper thoracic extension. As you inhale, you pull your hands into your hips. Watch those F2s. And get those hands a little higher, chin down just a tad there. And exhale, return to your starting position. Inhale up, keep the client's head in line with their spine. And exhale down. You don't want the head to be kicking back or tilting back. Hands a little higher. That's it. And exhale down. And inhale up. I just made a little micro adjustment there. Her legs were drifting slightly over to that stronger side that we were talking about earlier. Inhale. And exhale. And Rachel, I'm going to make you work on this one. I'm going to make you work on this last one. Inhale. Now, get those hands there. And exhale down. Again, I'm not forcing her. I'm just trying to guide her to get a little more adduction. Those hands were flaring out a little bit. Drop your straps onto the hooks. Come off the box away from me.
Oh, away from me?
Yep, other side. Or, yeah, or towards me. Whatever. I'm easy. Just don't tell anybody. How you feeling?
Tired.
Okay, you did really good. Okay, feet against mine. Let's move over to your left just slightly so just a little, we don't run into that reformer. Okay, Now, my goal was to, by the end of the session, have her arms more comfortable here by her side instead of rolling forward like this, which is where she kind of started. So let's see how she looks. Breathe in and exhale, roll down. Oh, wow, that spine, how's it feel?
Much better.
I hope you can see this because that articulation is so much more fluid. Now, I don't want you just to fold in half. So take those hands, make them stronger. There you go. And soften your knees just a tad. Breathe in. Exhale, roll down. If you're really flexible, I don't want you just to fold in half and just flop down to the bottom. I want you to create a really nice articulation down. Look at those hands. That's what I was looking for. And as you roll down, those palms still face one another. The arms are direct, not tense, but direct. And there's the articulation. And then we can just stop right about there. We don't need to fold in half. We want to have a nice, almost like an active C curve in an inverted position. So this evened out quite a bit over that session. Pull up. Yeah, that looks lovely. And we come up. And we reach our head for the stars.
Yay.
Great job.
Thank you.
Good work. Thanks for joining me. If you're working out at home, joining that session, I hope you enjoyed it. If you ever have any questions, put some comments below, and I'm happy to answer your questions and help you out. Thanks for joining me. Have a great day. Hey guys, thanks so much for joining me on these vlogs. I love having you here with these videos. If you like what you see, hit the subscribe button above and become a part of the Pilates Live channel. Thanks again, be kind, and have a great day.